Big box PC game collecting. That's what we're talking about today, and we're doing it with Pascal. We are going to give him some rapid fire. Is this a popular and rare game? Yes or no? He's going to give us a yes or no for each game, and he's going to tell us which variation that we want to search for. So let's go. So one thing that I learned in talking to you at the last episode, so I bought a bunch of Commander Keen games back in the day. I bought all of them from the, it was the LucasArts Museum. Do you remember the LucasArts Museum? Okay, yeah. He was selling his collection. I bought a bunch of games from him, and I think I paid like, I don't know, 25 to 35 bucks a piece on some of these. And
that
I didn't
must
realize
be
that
many years ago.
It was. It had to have been. Well, it was before I moved here in Missouri, so it had to have been 15 years ago. But now you're telling me that they're very, very valuable. I have not even looked at them. So, well, I don't know, very, very valuable, but rare. So, give me some mid-range games that you would be excited about. Like I got excited when you said that. Give me something along that tier that you would be excited that you need or have in your collection.
In the range of a Commander Keen game or below that? I mean, because if we talk about Commander Keen these days, we talk about big money. So these are, for many collectors, the holy grails.
So those are holy grails?
Yes, for many, those are still the holy grail. So if you, by surprise, there's one on my table. We see again John Romero. And this is a sealed copy of Goodbye Galaxy. Couple of $100. It can go over $1,000 easily. Commander Keen is really heavily demanded these days.
Rechange the question. Let me give you some rapid fire here, because I learned something about Commander Keen the last time. So let me throw some other ones that are on the same, what I consider the same tier. Okay. Vikings.
Vikings, it's interesting that you mentioned games that I have on my table, and we have not talked about that. So for the audience, we do not have talked about that before.
Turn it around.
But this one today,
flip it around. It's upside down.
This is oh, sorry for that. This is it's getting more and more rare these days. And in terms of a box copy, it's like easily above 100 something, I would say today. I haven't looked up prices for that for a long time, to be honest. But this the Viking series is well known. It's demanded. Boxes are not so common out there, so it can get pricey. This is not a Commander Keen price area we're talking about.
Sure.
But still, it's not a 50 euro one. So we are talking about 100 something, I would say.
So still, it's a nice piece in your collection.
It is.
Okay. Lemmings.
Lemmings series, awesome. I guess I have more or less every box of that collection. I have so many great childhood memories, played that with my older brother, my parents, because this was a family-friendly game, and my dad was like that a lot. You can get those more or less cheap. So those titles should be all below 100 for sure. So in the area between it's 30 to 70, depending on the box and condition and everything. But there are so many Lemmings boxes out there. I mean, they have so many games in the series. So you can definitely, if you want to start collecting Lemmings, you will definitely find a few of them for cheap. But so many special versions out there as well. Lemmings for Windows was re-released in a white box with the Windows where they're coming out, and so if you look into those re-releases for different platforms or operating systems, they may be getting a bit more pricey maybe. But again, those should be, by my knowledge, all below 100 and easy to get. Yeah.
Okay. XCOM games.
It depends. Awesome games. And always, if we talk about awesome games, many people out there know that they are awesome and want to have them in the collection because they have played it or a friend has played them back then. And XCOM is definitely, it's not that expensive, but I would say easily above 100 these days. If you have the first game box of that series, it is not, by my knowledge, not that it's not super rare, but you do not see it every day. You know? So again, good condition, complete. It can go up, yeah.
Mechwarrior.
Mechwarrior, awesome. I have a few of them in my collection as well. Awesome game series. I would say the same with XCOM maybe. There are a lot of special boxes out there in terms of for different type of CPUs or so. When Intel come up with the MMX processor or something like that, then there was a special re-release of that. And I know we have a few in our group who have the whole series of Mechwarrior with all the different re-releases. So some of them I learned within our group that some of them are pretty hard to find, and of course I guess just guess in the blue that they can go to 200 or so if it's like super rare and special.
And the variations are fun to collect. You're constantly searching. Okay.
Definitely.
Wing Commander games, particularly the earlier ones, obviously.
Awesome collection to collect, or game series to collect. I'm still looking for a lot of Origin games. I already have like 30 or so, but I'm still here looking for a lot of variants. And again, coming from Germany, I often, for games I like a lot, I would like to have the original one, which is mostly the US one. And if there's a German localization available with German voices or text or whatever, I like to have both versions in my collection. For Origin, this is a thing that I'm trying to achieve. So having the box in the US and German, and there's a lot of add-on boxes if we talk about Wing Commander. And this is a good example to talk about Wing Commander, that not often, not the main game is the most expensive one, but the add-on boxes.
Yes, the expansions.
Because they are the expansions, the famous speech packs from back then, or the mission add-ons. For Privateer, for Strike Commander, for all those games, Wing Commander, you have this additional speech packs which were available later in the box copy. For X-Wing and so for those TIE Fighter X-Wing series, the same. So many add-on boxes, and in many cases those are more expensive and harder to find because there was the first release without the speech packs. They were released later, sometimes at the same time, often at a later time, so not everyone was buying those. And there was often a CD re-release later, which combined everything. If I would say Wing Commander 1 and 2, those should be in the 80 to 100 price area, maybe.
There's so many of them. All right, I'm gonna shoot you three at you. We're gonna triple fire here. We'll go with some of the older first-person shooter games. Rise of the Triad, Spear of Destiny, Heretic.
Yes. Sure. So, Rise of the Triad, awesome game. Not planned to be Wolfenstein something, but turned out into Rise of the Triad later in the development process. Those are demanded. So all of those first-person shooters are demanded. Price-wise, they really go from, there's a huge range of prices on the market for that. Rise of the Triad is not the most expensive game series, but it can get ugly. And there are so many different versions, but the boxes are, if we talk about the first release boxes, they are super beautiful. They have an awesome cover artwork. They are shiny. They have so many great stuff. But they are not rare at all. So you find, if you go for Rise of the Triad right now, you would find a copy. If we talk about, what was the second one?
Spear of Destiny.
Spear of Destiny, so Wolfenstein 3D successor. This is not so expensive if we talk about the 3.5-inch floppy disk version. Again, it should be complete in something, so it easily can go above 100 for sure. But here, especially the version count in terms of which money has to be involved. If that is, again, a 5.25-inch floppy disk version, for whatever reason, people like those big floppy disks and say they are more rare and more valuable. This is just a thing. And so prices go by 3 times higher or so, I don't know.
And I'm hoping I'm going to be unboxing some of my games that I've had packed away for years and years. So we're going to do this on this show here today, and hopefully I pull some of these out. I don't even remember which. I've mentioned a lot of the ones that I have, and I don't remember which of the variations I have. So we'll look at those together. Hopefully we pull some of those out in this box. Okay, the other one was Heretic.
Heretic. Again, we have not talked about that, but by surprise, I have one over here as well.
Okay.
It depends on the version. This is not the most known version, but this is the mail order release. It's the same box size than the Doom mail order. It's exactly the same box, but this is a rare one. This does not show up often. There's a Shareware box available with the same cover, but it has a bit of a different size. So here, when it says from the publisher of Doom, this is a difference from the Shareware. Shareware has a big font over here saying it's a Shareware box. This is a full registered mail order copy. This is a couple of $100 these days. This is demanded and very pricey. It has an awesome poster included, which is the manual, and if you fold it out, it has a poster with the cover artwork, which is pretty awesome. There are many more retail boxes of Heretic and Heretic 2, and so Heretic 2 is not so demanded at all and widely available, so this is definitely below 100. Heretic, the retail box is super nice as well. It looks like a book on the shelf, which you can open. It's a one-piece box which you can open. It looks a bit like a book. It's more pricey, I would say, than Rise of the Triad, but not. This one is the holy grail in terms of Heretic, the mail order box copy. But this is a rare piece. It does not show up that often.
So you mentioned Shareware games. Let's talk about the Doom Sharewares. Valuable, not valuable?
This is so crazy. If we had this discussion like 2 years ago or so, we would say, there are many Shareware boxes out there, and sometimes the Shareware boxes are the only way to get a box copy of that game, because many games, the Shareware model, the first episode or chapter was free, and you have to send in money to get the other 2 or whatever chapters. So in some cases, there was not even a box for the full game. So the Shareware box sometimes is only the only box available. So it makes that collectible and demandable for us. In terms of Doom, we know there's a full registered mail order, there's Doom Ultimate, there are different boxes out there where you can get, where Doom is included, and tons of Shareware versions out there, and some Shareware big boxes out there, and boy, they are now pricey. I don't know for whatever.
Really?
We have seen.
I've got like 5 or 6 variations. I'm sure I have some in here. I got to find that out.
If you have a sealed copy, it's definitely it's definitely so. It's likely 1,000+ these days, which is insane if you ask me. But it is what it is. So there were some Doom Shareware sealed copies sold on eBay recently. And they all go above 1,000, where we say, wait a minute, what's going on over here? But if you check prices for Doom mail order, it can get ugly quickly as well. Sometimes those prices are not really as is, so you should not say, hey, all the next 5 Doom Shareware boxes will be sold for above 1,000, and because it was maybe again a crazy bidding war, someone wanted that missing piece for his Doom collection and was throwing in whatever it takes to finally get it. We see that happens, but these Shareware boxes getting ugly these days for some reason. And not only that, but if you take Duke Nukem, if you take Heretic, if you take Blood, those are easily a couple of $100 we're talking about for Shareware boxes. Maybe it's a bit about I want to complete my certain part of my collection, and maybe it's because of finding a good, nice shaped box in a good condition, because all those Shareware boxes are very thin, and you find them mostly in a damaged, and even if they're still shrink wrapped, you see a lot of those shrink wrap damage the boxes over the time. Exactly. So you see a lot of them are really like flattened even more, and so finding a good condition box is for many people still super important. If you don't care, you can get a Shareware box for like $30 to $60 or so, because it's not in the best condition. But if you want to have this pristine, nice one, yeah, a couple of $100 for sure.
And I think that I should put a disclaimer in for you. And this is something that you covered in the last episode that we did together on the adventure game episode, is that when you quote the possible dollar amount, it's you put a caveat in there that it could change. There's, like you said, there could be a bidding war, there could be a completionist that needs to fit something, so it's hard for you to give a dollar. So if you do, it's just a rough arbitrary number.
It's just my experience, and some of the games we talked about, I've checked a couple of months ago, last time, so it has changed these days. If you check all the games we talked today, maybe one of them is now cheap on eBay as a buy it now because the seller does not know better. We still see, and we share that information, that someone was lucky. And you mentioned
gone in a second.
That we know that someone is selling a game for $25, buy it now, and it was like a $300 game. Of course, that still happens. And those bidding wars, I mean, the last 2 seconds decide if it's $100 or $400 game.
Pew pew, they're sniping at the last second.